Hello, my name is Wamby, and I'm teaching you how I did a GRC 316 digital illustration. Now, my no, my name's Jake Sebastian Pimentel. Here, here's what I here's what I created for by using Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, and After Effects created by me. I'm Jake Sebastian Pimentel. Here's my here's my first project, the traditional sketch to digital painting. Before I designed, I sketched the cake, pies, and that wham wearing a nice dress. And after and after I took a I used it I created on an Adobe Photoshop by using different colors in paint, which I used the paint bucket paint bucket first in paint bucket tool first. Next one is and I use it with the eyedropper tool to click on to match the the exact same color. and and finally I use it instead of the and use with the paint bucket tool instead of the paintbrush tool to make which it can make it hard to stay inside the lines. So I created so since I sketched the cake and pies, I realized that helper from by the artist name is Wayne T-Bud, who uses thick paint to make a design from by using food or by copying the cakes and pies to make it more to have a more pastel like that. I like that and use it neat using bright colors to paint. Next up is the grayscale to color. Here's my here's my photo reference of the I here's my photo reference of the whole Seven Magic Mountains, which was built in 2016. And when here's my original picture, and on the website is the when I change it to black, white, and gray. Okay, here's the grayscale to color, grayscale stage and color progress. Here, this is over here. This is my sketch drawing of the Seven Magic Mountains, and this one on down here is I used it. I must have colored it out my sketch by that I use watercolor pencils. Over next up, is I use it. I also use Adobe Photoshop. I try to make it more. I tried to change it to black and white and gray style um, to make it more darker. And finally I use it with a I try to hit in try to make the color visibility, and that's how I try to make it black and white gray to the bright color. That's what the grayscale to color looks like. After next up is my biggest project, the Illustrator presentation. I chose the Norman Rockwell, the most iconic illustrator. Hi class. This is the whole video. This is my whole video about the explanation of Norman Rockwell. He makes different kinds of parody magazines. according to according to according to the Saturday Evening Post from 1900s, and this is what given the this is why he painted some self portraits people to cover to make a magazine front cover, including the freedom of worship and Rosie the Riveter, the famous iconic portrayal Rosie the Riveter, and and also there's a museum of illustration art created by him in in fine, but this is the most but he's the most iconic illustrator who can create it by in the 1900s in Massachusetts, including like the marriage license, freedom of speech, and freedom from want, and also the picture of the World War II. Hi class, Jake. My name is Jake. So And my next one is then I created my holiday card sketches for to honoring the UNLV creative of graphic arts. Yeah, this is what I made. Here are my 6 sketches of any holiday cards that I designed for. I decided to choose the Christmas carols. And next, here's my holiday card mock-up with a proof sketch with the hair with my Christmas carols. I basically I just took a screenshot on front. I designed it in Adobe InDesign, which which I can make a make the card cover from the text for the different font to make it more kindness. I tried to copy it on a but a bone. I try to copy the whole card cover, which it makes into a PDF. Next up, for my next another for the holiday mock-up card is that I put some kitty cats on it, kitty cats on too. For yeah, but except the different font for the inside cover of card and even the back cover too. And finally, I put some text. I put some text on the front cover of the card with the biggest ornament on the front, on the back, on the behind. Even though I changed the different font for Happy Holidays, and followed by I make it everything. I changed it Christmas Carol faces to kitty cat faces to for made up creation. Even though I just put some, even though I changed the color from the text, it says Happy Holidays from UNLV College of Fine Arts. Then I put some letters on. I put some letters on a Christmas Carol books, song notes, in with I put UNLV on it too, and then I change it. Then I change it from the different change the different font to make it more popular. And that's and also I extended the famous quote on the back side of the card too to that you can that I can see very well that I can read very well. And for my color comparisons is the in my InDesign mockup card is I chose randomly. I chose to color randomly to to make to make it look nice. That relates for the theme for any Christmas color. Sometimes Christmas color theme it could be like red, white, and green. That relates to that relates to harmony and peaceful. But but I just make the colors got mixed up. And here's my and finally I changed the text from the whole card to make to make a abundance to make abundance and for have to have passionate for in for about what the Christmas card have to do. And and finally I took the I already did took a screenshot, or I save it on an InDesign or Photoshop, which can make it look nice. And I put some details on it too, that I put some art supplies images that relates to the College of Fine Arts. You, uh, then is then the next one is the poker face card design. Includes thumbnails and sketches and color progress. It's about you have to pick a different casinos that have been destroyed or have been abandoned. So I chose the Wild Wild West theme. So before I did some sketches of the cards, including the king, queen, jack, joker, and the back cover. But after I must have colored it out and using color pencils only. Then I created the but before that I created I created the cards in Adobe Illustrator, and after I changed it, but I changed it this one because the cards the cards for the card corners, it needs to make it more curvy. After just like on the right side, it looks like my project comes with a 2D dimensional, but on the website, yeah, I just created the box to make it more dimensional, like a 3D dimensional style. And this is what the deck of cards look like. Here here are my cards. Here are my card in color progress look like. I change it. I make it more stylish. The whole cards to that were because the colors that can relate for for the Wild Wild West theme look like, that relates to for the casino theme. It could be red, orange, beige, blue, tan, and brown, and mahogany, etc. And this is why I make it. I try to make the cards with to put the color inside the lines. The original, that's what the classic or original cards look like. I designed the box too. Even I put I put the box to make it look like, to make it 3D dimensional, that you can fit inside the box. The same size and same shape. Oh, here, but this is how what it looks like when I place the Adobe design first. Adobe Illustrator design, and I transfer to Adobe Photoshop, and try to paint. I try to paint it out using the eyedropper tool to find to click on the different on the gradient color scale from the Photoshop, and then I click at the paint bucket icon tool to with in, to use to cover the hole inside the lines, instead of using the paintbrush tool. It can really get mess. It can ruin to stay inside the lines, or wasting time. Next up is the for the poker face card animation is the storyboard. here's what I here's what I created in Adobe Illustrator. I use I trace it to make them. I sketch. I make it in seven storyboards separate about for the king, queen, jack, joker, and joker in a back cover. I label out. I just type it out. I just type it out about what the storyboard pictures was supposed to look like, supposed to be. So this is what this. So over here, the cards. You know the cards has shadows on it. It's like it was facing a duel by having a gunshots. But the card's supposed to be facing the facing right or left that you cannot see. And then over here the front two cards that can show the two cards by watching the face in the duel. Then you see the arrow that with the shadow on it. That means the card will face on the will be face will be falling down, and that's why they were just stopping the face in the duel. But the arrows just show up and by the for the in the middle of the desert. That can see that is the middle of the desert of by facing the shadows look like. Here's the storyboard in real life looks like. There's the tumbleweed. Now the both king and queen can facing the other way, but you see there's a shadow on it. That's the Wild West back cover, and that's what I picked the Wild West casino in Barcelona, Spain. And finally, the the time lapse master copy and digital painting replica. Here's here's this is what I picked for the famous historical artwork, the persistence of memory. You know the melting clocks, and here's my replica sketch on the website. Looks like. Now, next up is the time lapse master copy and digital painting time lapse. This is kind of yeah. This is well. I tried to make a stop motion animation by that I created a timeline in Adobe Photoshop when I can save when I can make it more time for more time more time in 30 seconds. Action. And finally,
my name is Jake Sebastian Pimento.
The replica
For my master copy,
painting and
I chose
my original artwork.
the Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali because it's one of the most iconic surrealist paintings in history. I've always been drawn to its dreamlike atmosphere and the way it plays with time and space. The melting clocks,
Here's
bearing
the
landscape in strange organic forms felt like a challenge worth exploring, not just technically, but emotionally. I wanted to see if I could capture that eerie stillness and a sense of distortion through digital tools.
How to make a digital painting time
to extract the color palette, I started by sampling key areas of the paintings, mostly the warm earth tones, pale yellows, and cool blues.
That's all for all my projects that I
worked at. I used the eyedropper tool to copy the to find the right color for the persistent